already. I don't know if I can do it.
You can do it, Ryan. Ryan, you've done this before and you can do it again. You can.
I think that I started out as a naive person who thought, why wouldn't everybody want this? Why would there be a problem? Why would any medical provider see me as a threat? I have lived in Abilene for 17 years. I came here right before the birth of my last child. It's a very close-knit community, very spirit-led, conservative. I had all 5 of my children in the hospital. The first one, I felt like just listening to my own body wasn't really what everybody else expected. With the second one, I had a lot of difficulty. I had a baby that was face up and a lot of prodromal labor. I felt like I wasn't really listened to or heard when I didn't want an epidural and I didn't want Pitocin because I knew I was very close to having a baby. But even with telling the hospital staff no, and my husband telling them no, we were still given Pitocin. And that was a really hard experience for me. And that really empowered me to educate other women about what their options were so that they could try to have a different birthing experience.
Single one of I think has teeth marks in the spindles. Just called and said that she is in labor, so I'm taking Emma to school and then I'm going to be headed to San Angelo soon. Sorry to cancel on you late. I hope you haven't already. Hello?
Hey.
My lady just called and said that she is in labor.
In rural Texas, it can be challenging because, we have more people that want to have holistic births out in the country. They maybe live on a farm. They've seen their animals give birth. They feel like they're perfectly capable of doing that on their own. It can feel like the weight of it is all on you all the time. Even when you're off call, you can still feel like at any moment they might need you. That can be a little nerve-wracking, a little scary, because I know if something does go wrong, we are far away. So I have to think about that differently.
It just hurts so much in my back. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Hi, Daddy. Does she need anything else?
No, she's okay. Okay. What I'll do is
Do you want the baby in there?
let her sit and just enjoy it for just a minute and then we'll do that.
The medical community sees home birthing as taboo because they see all the bad things that happen in their space. They don't have the time to slow things down and to just be with somebody. And then when there are difficulties, like things that have become high risk, that's when we go seek higher care because it has stepped outside of normal.
Okay. She weighs 8'4", so she's lost 8 ounces. But I'll do the math on her.
Posterior was gone. You could see her eyes a little better.
Mm-hmm. Is it where you were getting stuck on that pubic bone? Is that it?
I was a doula before, mostly in hospital settings, helping women achieve natural births. I ended up caring for a 14-year-old refugee girl from the Congo who had been brought to America while she was pregnant. She ended up going into labor on her own, and we went to the hospital, and she started having a sickle cell outbreak that no one recognized. She had never been tested for it. I went home for the night, and when I came back in the morning to take care of her, she wasn't there. They transported her to Dallas. They had taken her to ICU. Within 28 hours, she passed away. I felt like she was made to be not important. At that point, I had toyed with midwifery multiple times, but I always felt like I needed to be a mom first and foremost. But just seeing that, I knew that I needed to do something different.
A lot of times, if babies that have...
My name is Jessica James. My husband and I run a security company. We live outside of San Angelo in Mertzen, Texas. After you find a midwife that will, work with you, it is exceptional care, but it is a challenge to find one who is still in practice. I was actually turned away by a couple of midwives for my first home birth because we were rural. Not all of them are willing to travel. To have access to a midwife, that means a great deal to me. It means that I have more choice, more freedom. The nurses are very sweet. They do genuinely care, but you're still just a number. They're going to do what the hospital requires them to do, even if you dislike it.
It's going to put it on the labor chart and then also on the post.
It's definitely made me see things differently, realize how much politics comes into play. I don't love that part of being in midwifery and feeling like you're not an equal player in the game.
Just get her position, if you would. Did she have a position?
It just says support for sanctuary city ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Sabrina Elliott.
The most important drugs that I carry are anti-hemorrhage drugs, such as Pitocin, Methergin, TXA, but also misoprostol. Its original use was for ulcers, and yet using it off-label can save lives. When this proposal was placed on the ballot, I read carefully and found out that not only was it unclear whether I could administer misoprostol, but also it was considered contraband, which led me to believe that I would not be able to carry it within the city limits, even if I needed to give it in another town that was not under the sanctuary city ordinance. At the birth I attended 3 weeks ago, I had to use every one of my anti-hemorrhage drugs. The woman that I was treating was 30 minutes from a hospital, and the EMTs could not give those medications or start an IV. So how did we save her? You see, the paramedics relied on my medications and my authority to dispense these medications to save this woman, while I did bimanual compression on her uterus for 30 minutes on the way to the hospital to keep her from bleeding out. If I had chosen to leave misoprostol out as an option, I'm convinced she may not have survived.
Where's Naomi?
Naomi, come on.
Come over here, baby.
No, it's a girl.
I think it's really hard for me thinking about my daughters. I don't know if I will be able to not provide that care. I don't think there are enough OBs to take care of all the women that are in the system. I feel like in Texas especially, where there are those large maternity deserts, midwifery care is really what does fill the gap. The medical community doesn't recognize that for what it is. They're more worried about losing money. What they could do is employ midwives to help when there is no one else to help.